I was stretched out on the floor in a conference room at work. So when I first started experiencing symptoms, my hands were going numb, my feet were going numb, and I was dealing with really bad vertigo. And so when I told my doctor, his first response was, maybe you're having some extremities problem. So that's who he wanted to send me to see next. And I had to stress to him, sir, while we are sitting in this room, it is spinning round and round. So he sent me to a neurologist. The neurologist said, I think it may be a compressed nerve or even stress. Said, okay, no problem, but I'll run some additional tests. In running the test, we did an MRI and there were several other tests in between. I had to have a spinal tap. Now, if you've had an epidural during childbirth, you know how that feels. This was something I was not excited about, but I knew I needed to find out what was going on with my body. And so I went in, we did the procedure, and we were told you should be able to recover, just go home and rest today. However, if you stand up and you start to notice you have a really bad headache, that means that the spinal tap did not seal itself off, which the body should do naturally. And the best thing you can do to resolve it is to lie flat. Stayed home one day, went into work the next day, and within the hour, I had a headache so bad. I knew then what I needed to do. I was stretched out on the conference room floor in my suit, heels, dressed for work for relief. The doctor said, we have a solution. You need to come in. Now, here's the part of the story that it's not intended to make anyone look bad, but it is just the story of what happened. My teammates were not allowed to take me. I know that sounds crazy because if a student had left there in an ambulance, one of us would have had to go, but they were told no, they couldn't take me. Fortunately, there was another coworker friend who went between schools, and she actually was on campus that day because Rich was closer to the hospital that I needed to go to. So she took me and dropped me off. What needed to be done was called a blood patch. And so they did the blood patch, and I went home. I was able to rest, and it sealed off the spinal tap. And so I got some relief. That reminds me of the fact that MS is invisible for many. For me,